All right, back for another beer review, and today I'll be reviewing yet another collaboration beer, this time between Hop Butcher for the World, and they're out of Chicago, Illinois, and the Eagle Park Brewing Company, and they're out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and this is the Swans of Lir. So they're calling this one a Milkshake Double IPA that is brewed with mint, vanilla, and lactose, comes in at 7.5% alcohol by volume. No IBUs listed in time of review. This can is approximately 2.5 months old, and I want to give a huge thanks and shout out to Hop Butcher, more specifically Jeremiah, for hooking me up with this one. So thank you very much, good sir. In the description box, I'll post a link to the beer mail unboxing video I did that contains all the goodies that Jeremiah sent my way. And I want to mention one thing real quick is that this beer is 2.5 months old. And that's on me. When Jeremiah sent it my way, I think it was like 4.5 to 5 weeks old, which a little bit older than they typically send the beers, but this was like, a release that was from a month ago when he sent the box. Everything else was fresh. And I really wanted to try it. Unfortunately, I took my second 1-month hiatus. So this went from me reviewing it between 5 to 6 weeks old to 2.5 months old. Like you do any review on my channel, take this review with a grain of salt because this is not super fresh. I typically like to review hop forward beers under 3 months old, and that's where this kind of lies, but it's close to the 3-month mark. So I'm hoping that I get the essence of the beer and what it's supposed to be. And the Hop Butcher beers I've drank between 6 weeks to 2 months old have held up extremely well. So I'm hoping this one does too. So another thing I want to mention is that I've wanted to try this one for a little bit over a year. I remember seeing a good friend of mine and fellow beer tuber Matt over Massive Beer Reviews review this one last year. This is kind of like their St. Patrick's Day release for Hop Butcher. And I believe it's going to be green. I mean, that's the one that, that's at least what I saw with Matt's review. And it makes sense. And obviously brewed with mint, vanilla, lactose. This is going to be interesting. I'm not going to be sure how happy I'll be to be drinking this one, but it might be delicious. I know I'm pretty sure Matt enjoyed it when I saw his review last year. I haven't watched it since, he dropped it. Haven't seen anyone else's take on it, but they're using Citra and Cashmere hops in this one. So yeah, this sounds like a lot of fun, honestly. Let's hope it is. Like I said, I'm pretty sure it's going to have a green tinge to it. I don't know how it's going to look on camera, but yeah, that's green. That looks like, remember the high C ecto coolers from like the late 80s and 90s? Or late 80s, early 90s. Yeah, that's kind of what this looks like. I think Matt said that. Might have said that in his review too. I don't know. I have to go watch that review. But yeah, it has that look to it. Definitely. I mean, it looks like a hazy, but it has this green tint to it. Now on camera, it might not come off as that, but in person for sure. Very hazy, murky, about a finger of a off-white, creamy colored head. Yeah, I mean, yeah, makes sense. Anyone's good knows. Tons of vanilla, probably from the lactose and the vanilla itself, but tons of vanilla. Man, that's the predominant note, ton of vanilla. Then there's this underlying, hang on. So I've heard this note before, but I don't think I've necessarily ever had it myself. I believe it's Joe over at Joe's Arcade. He would say it in some of his reviews where like he'll be drinking one, like a really fresh New England style IPA, and he'll say it's like you kind of just take a drink, you took a sip of orange juice right after brushing your teeth. And this minty kind of vibe in the nose is giving me that kind of sensation where like I could definitely see that there's like citrus fruits in here. There's a little bit of like stone fruit as well. And then there's this minty vibe underneath. Now it's a bit different because there's vanilla here, but I totally get what he's saying. Even though I've never experienced it in an IPA before, I totally get, I can see where someone like him is coming from with that. I'll be curious to look for that in the future when I do New England style IPA reviews, but I just thought I'd mention here because it kind of is giving me that. Yeah, so vanilla, underlying mint, stone fruits, citrus fruits, not really like a ton of tropical fruits. Smells sweet. That vanilla is crazy. Yeah, the vanilla is so big. Anyway, I want to get into it, so cheers everybody, and thanks again, Jeremiah. It's a fucking weird beer. Holy shit, is that weird? But I enjoy it. It's weird, but I enjoy it. It's weird. It's fucking weird. I enjoy it. Body of this one seems a bit thinner. 7.5%. This drinks like it's maybe 6.5. This does not drink like a double IPA. It's a bit thin. The mouthfeel, though, it's Hop Butcher. It's soft, it's smooth. Doesn't have a ton of carbonation, but lets you know, hey, there is still some here, and it is a beer. So body, a bit thin, mouthfeel, superb. It's such a fun experience to drink this. Right from ahead with a lot of sweetness. Could be from, you know, the age, some of the hop intensity, some of the bitterness from the beer kind of dies down. But there's a lot of like vanilla, almost like a vanilla like cookie kind of sensation at the front of the palate because it's vanilla, it's sweet, and I'm getting like this grainy sensation, this almost slightly bready sensation. So like vanilla cookie at the front of the palate. Passes through, the mint hits like mid palate. And it's not this punchy in the face, you know, knock you out kind of mint character. It's just this very subtle, soothing, cooling kind of mint character that it's different. It's nothing that I've really experienced in a beer like this. I mean, I've had mint in like imperial stouts and porters and stuff, trying to do the whole thin mint kind of in beer form. You know, Southern Tier does their thick mint. You know, it's mint in beer can be fun, but I've never had it in a hop forward beer. So yeah, mint hits halfway through. And with that mint is like a kind of like a sweeter orange, along with the orange peel, tangerine, citrus fruits, not really stone fruits, maybe a touch of like a peach, like the closer to the core of a peach, so not really that sweet, but a little bit of stone fruit, but mostly citrus fruit. So again, to go back to Joe's Arcade and what he says a lot of times about like, you know, brushing your teeth and then, you know, having a glass of OJ being very similar to some of the New England style IPAs he drinks. To me, that's kind of coming off a little bit mid-palate here, and it's kind of unique. I just have never really experienced that and never even really looked for it when I'm drinking New England style IPA. This is a milkshake IPA, obviously, lactose and vanilla. It finishes with no bitterness. It's not overly sweet. Has a like semi-dry finish. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what this one, you know, drank like 2 weeks old or 3 weeks old or even a month and a half, but at 2.5 months, it's still really fun, and I'm enjoying it. It's not my favorite Hop Butcher beer, not at all. But kudos to them for, I don't want to say the creativity, but just making this kind of work. I think this works. I can see some people drinking this and just being like, this is absolute trash. I don't want anything to do with it. The mint doesn't belong, blah, blah, blah. For me, I think it works well. It's not amazing to my palate, but it's very unique and stands out from the pack. So the Swans of Lir from Hop Butcher and Eagle Park. I'm going to go straight 4 out of 5. I think that's kind of where this one lands with me. I would say this is more of a fun type of beer than like a fridge beer or like something that I want to drink a lot of. I think he sent me 2 cans of this. I think it was 2 cans. Might have been just 1, but I can see myself drinking a couple cans of this and just being done with it, like until next year, you know? As far as like the drinkability or, you know, what I would say is like, I'm glad this isn't like a core beer. This is a fun, make it once a year for St. Patrick's Day, and everyone buy, you know, a 4-pack of it and enjoy it. And that's where it kind of lays for me. That's where it lands for me. I do enjoy it. I think it's a good beer, and that's where I'll leave it at. So, like I said, 4 out of 5 for the Swans of Lir from Hop Butcher and Eagle Park. Price and availability, pretty sure this is $14.99 a 4-pack, which is a great deal. And availability, Chicagoland mostly. I drips and drabs get out to other locations and whatnot. But for the most part, if you're in Chicago, you should be able to find Hop Butcher. And yeah, so thanks again to Jeremiah for hooking me up with this one. Oh yeah, 7.5%. I don't really taste any alcohol, and that's kind of, you know, that's what Hop Butcher does. They do a great job of hiding the alcohol in a lot of their beers. All their double IPAs, I think there's only one that I've tasted any kind of alcohol, and the rest of them just, you know, 7.5%, you drinks like it's 5. But I will say the one downside to this one is the body is a bit thin for a 7.5% beer, but at the end of the day, whatever. So yeah, anyway, appreciate everybody stopping by for another beer review. Thanks again to Jeremiah and Hop Butcher for the hookup, and until the next one, cheers.